Hi, everybody. I am Andrea Annette, and welcome to this week's session of Building Community. So I am with Tara Martina Hayes. And what I like about her is she is a self-published author. Yes, I love it. And she's written, two different books, Irrational to Rational, right? And Panic to Picnic. So that's something I want to know about for sure. So she does specialize in helping women that have panic issues and anxiety issues. And she's really trying to help them share their story. And we're going to hear a little bit more about that. So please help me welcome Miss Tara Hayes. Hello, darling.
Hi, Anja. How are you? Hi, everybody.
I'm doing very well. And can you tell us a little bit about your business? Because you have a little bit of play on words there. So tell us a little bit about your business and why you got started on this journey.
Sure. So, my business is called Terrified Publishing, and when people hear the name Terrified, most people think, what do I mean by that? And it does have a double meaning. So, terrified could be, you're afraid of the publishing process, terrified to publish, or it could mean like empowerment, doing things the terrified way. So that's usually how people take it the negative way, but then once I explain it, they say, oh, that makes sense. So, I'm Tara. So it's basically giving people my blueprint to self-publish, and that's why it's called Terrified. Doing things Tara's way.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. So what got you started? So, and why anxiety? Is this something that you yourself suffered with at some time?
Yes, and how I got started was I was laid off from two full-time accounting jobs within a 10-month period. And for both jobs, they said the exact same thing. They said, we like you, you're very nice, but we don't think this role is for you. So while I was trying to basically find myself, I had a lot of anxiety, I wasn't sleeping, and then I decided I didn't want to go for accounting again. That my bachelor's in accounting, but like after those two experiences, I didn't have the confidence to go for another accounting job. So I ran across self-publishing. I saw a YouTube ad, and I asked my sister, I said, hey, should I go for this? She said, yeah, if you want to. So then I took the self-publishing course, and originally I didn't know what I wanted to write about. They suggested writing about, romantic and the mystery novels and all that, but I didn't quite feel aligned with those. So I decided to share my story with anxiety, and that's when the journey began, writing and publishing my first book, From Irrational to Rational, in um, December of 2019. And then after I published that book, I published Panic to Picnic, How to Find Your Own Personal Path to Peace of Mind. And it's about my experience with anxiety from childhood to adolescence to adulthood, and how I was on medication for 15 years, and how I was able to get off naturally, and given the 15 strategies that I began managing my anxiety naturally. And I just wanted to share the story with other people who have anxiety, to give them hope that they can, start a business. They can, you know, um, they can be successful with anxiety.
I think that's amazing. So share a little bit with me about those episodes. So I like you have yourself listed as a misfit in mental health. And I thought that was so cute. But you're out there doing something beautiful. You're helping someone. And I find that most people just need that hope. They need to know that somebody else has done it. And by sharing your story, you're giving them that space. You're holding space for them to let them know that it's going to be okay. And even though they're here now, they have the possibility to get here. So I
Right.
think it's wonderful that you're doing that. And I wouldn't call yourself a misfit. I know it's a cute little play on words, but you know, mental health is a very serious issue today. And there's so many people out there that for so long were afraid to come forward. I suffered with depression for years, and
Right.
so many people wouldn't talk about that because of all the stigmas around it. And I think
Right.
the more of us that really do talk about it, the more natural it will become and the less children that will be having these issues in school, and the more dignified they'll feel when they say, I have anxiety, or I suffer from depression, and it will be a natural path for them to be able to talk about those things and really get the help that they need. So I
Right.
applaud what you did. And I'm
Thank
not a big
you.
fan of all medications, so
Right.
I think there are a lot of natural ways to deal with it, but I would never tell anybody not to take a medicine if that's what works for them.
Right, right. I agree with that as well. It's like I think it was a mindset for me too. It was like when I was going to therapy or seeing a psychiatrist, it's like, you have to be on medication. And I believe that. And I know medicine has its place, there are people that need to be on medicine, but for me it was like can I do it, can I do it naturally? So then I started to believe that that I could, um, you know, start finding natural alternatives. And that's what worked for me. And I actually wanted to change. Like that's the thing too. You have to want to change your mindset. You have to um want to begin to manage your anxiety because for years it was managing me. Like it took control over me for a long time where I couldn't even function. But when I decided that I wanted to make a change, I didn't want to be a victim to my anxiety and I wanted to start changing things, that's when things changed for me. So I would say that it's definitely a mindset.
It's absolutely a mindset, and you do absolutely have to be willing to make those changes. And they're not always easy. And a good
Hmm.
support system is important. So you spoke of your sister. So
Hmm.
she's an integral part of your journey. Did she support you on this journey as well?
Yeah, my sister, yeah, she's supportive. We're twins. So she's
Oh,
like been
wow.
my yeah, she's been like my best friend, like my built-in bestie, for years. So yeah, she's definitely been a support on the journey and she has anxiety as well. So um when we had our own anxiety, I would encourage her and she would encourage me. So, it's that kind of support. And I did also seek therapy for a while. Currently not in therapy. I had a bad experience with a therapist, but I recommend anyone who's struggling to that therapy and medication are both alternatives. But if you need that extra push, I do recommend people to get that help if they need that because I did take that route too.
Or even a psychologist, just
Hmm.
someone that they can talk to. Sometimes people need a trusted adult or another outlet to really learn how to fuse with that anxiety and understand how it's working in their body and how to move to better practices that you had said you came up with 15 ways to deal with yours. So I think the audience would like to hear that. So could you tell us a few of those ways that you found that work for you?
Sure. So a few of the ways that I found that worked for me is to actually just sit back and breathe and being mindful of the thoughts that are coming through my mind and then just accepting those, accepting whatever thoughts came. I know it's hard because sometimes anxious thoughts are scary, but just try and let them go through without fighting them. And also, I like to do exercise daily. I would also like it to change my shape, but right now I just do it just, because it's that accountability. It's keeping me motivated, because it's one thing I do. Like I do walks and I do the strength training and I get a good sweat out of that. So I enjoy that. And also I like to do the green smoothies that was integral a part. And I also take ashwagandha too. I take ashwagandha, I take magnesium glycinate, so I like those supplements that help me. And then I think a big thing is doing what you love. Like when I had a lot of anxiety, I didn't love anything. I was just, anxious, just sitting on the couch. I didn't have any direction. But now having direction, like having, a business that I'm growing, that passion for it, like that passion takes a lot of the anxiety away. So just finding something that you love and that you wake up for every day. I think that's a big integral part of that I begin managing my anxiety.
I think that's great. So tell me a little bit about this e-publishing. I'm not really, so are these digital products that you're publishing, or are you doing them on bookstores? Where are these books going?
So it's definitely ebooks, and there we help people self-publish to Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And then there's a platform called Ingram Spark where you can get your book distributed to the bookstore. So we started with Amazon and we moved to Draft to Digital, and we're going to be moving into Ingram Spark. So these are the self-publishing platforms help that I help women business owners that want to become self-published get published on these platforms.
Okay, so I'm published on all of them.
Okay.
I'm an international bestseller, so I don't want to make this about me, but I just put out six of my own books. Just
That's
so
amazing.
well, you know what? When I was a kid, I always wanted to write, and people said it wasn't a real career, you know.
Hmm.
And I wasn't listening to that voice that said, this is what I want to do. It doesn't have to be a career, but I could do it to get rid of some of that anxiety and some of the things I was
Right.
feeling. Because that's how it helped me as a child. I had a lot of anxiety about everything, you know.
Hmm.
So I totally understand that. I think it's great. I've heard of Ingram because that's one of the platforms that works with one of the platforms I'm on.
Hmm.
So I think it's fabulous that you're
Thank
doing.
you. Thank you.
So what would you like to see for yourself? So, like if you look down the road 5 years from now, what would you like to see for yourself?
That's a great question. So 5 years from now, I would like to see myself making a bigger impact, helping more women business owners publishing, sharing their story, even getting on stages, speaking about, my work and how I've helped other people. And honestly, the big stage, like speaking in front of I guess like a big group of people would cause me anxiety, but it's like something that I would like to do. Like I like to, instead of running away from my anxiety now, I like to challenge it. So it would be challenging for me, but it's something I'd be willing to go up against that challenge. So um yeah, and I would like to see, I would like to write more books myself. Like my business partner keeps saying we need to publish my third book. So that'll be in the works, hopefully coming out next year. So, just publishing more books, making a bigger impact in the publishing industry, connecting with other publishing companies, collaborations, connections, maybe doing more with the wellness space as well. Like I have the digital journals that I would like to get in the schools because I know that kids need self-care, especially teen girls. Both of them need
Yeah.
self-care, and that's something I didn't even know of when I was a teen. I never heard of self-care. So I would like to get on those platforms like in schools to help kids, get self-care and self-love because that's what they need. Because I know I needed it. I just didn't know when I was a teen.
It's not something that they're teaching in school. And I don't know why. I was talking to someone on another show that I did, and we were talking about when we were in school, we had to take home ec, like when they taught us how to cook, just the
Hmm.
basics. I mean, we would know Gordon Ramsay, that's for sure, but they showed us
Hmm.
how to do that. We had to take sewing, wood shop. That was all part of our curriculum. So we
Right.
did all of those things, metal shop, all of those things were offered to us in our school,
Hmm.
and I recommend that more of those things are taught. So we also had something called BOCES that they would send us to as we started to get older so that we could decide what kind of career we wanted. So we'd take a semester of maybe auto mechanics or a semester
Hmm.
tree surgery. I'm just talking about things I did, but
Hmm.
I had no idea what I wanted to do at the time. Um,
Right.
but they were offered to us, but then they're not teaching things like that to
Right.
people, and certainly self-care and how to manage those anxieties and stuff. So they should be built into school. I think
Right.
every school should have a psychologist. I
Hmm.
think it's just as important as a guidance counselor.
Hmm.
And I think that children would feel more fluid in their movements if they knew that it was okay to go and talk to someone, if they always had someone available, especially
Right.
today with the economy being what it is. Many people are in single family homes, and other
Hmm.
people, even though they have both parents, they both have to work,
Right.
right? So,
Right.
so where is the kid in all this? Because there's only 24 hours in a day, 8 they're in school. So I think we're definitely missing that piece in the school system. I think that's a great idea, Tara.
Right. I would love to. I just haven't tapped into it yet. So I would love to get, like a self-care curriculum or into schools, but yeah.
You should reach out to the Department of Health. They might help you with that because they're always
Okay.
looking for new curriculums to really help with that piece.
Okay.
That's going to help manage anxiety and stuff like that. I
Gotcha.
know they put out a new program this year where they really for suicide awareness, they're really
Hmm.
stepping that up. They want more people educated in that area so people know the signs before it gets there. So they're always pretty active in things like that. So you might reach out to them and see if they can help you with that.
Gotcha. That's a great idea. Thank you so much, Andrea.
Yeah. You reach out to local schools too that you want to come in and have a talk with the girls because and that will get you on those stages, Sarah.
Gotcha.
They're smaller. Sometimes it's easier to talk to peers, people that are close in age. I don't know how old you are, but it's less threatening before you go live on Tony Robbins, right?
Right.
Like, start with those kids, telling them how, about the books that you wrote and, how you weren't taught about self-care or things like that as part of your curriculum. And, we get older and we get away from managing that, you know,
Right.
we become those yes people in corporate. Yes, okay. Yes.
Right.
Then we get further and further away.
Right. Right.
I think
Exactly.
that's great. You got a lot going for you. So I'm very excited to see where this journey leads you. I like publishing if you ever need a hand with some of those avenues. I'm actually taking some of my stuff off of Amazon and redoing them because
Okay.
when I did them, someone was helping with the self-publishing. They said they would put them up, and I just don't like the way they represent me, to be honest.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, I don't like the job they did, so I'm gonna redo them, and see how that goes. I might ask for your help, Tara.
Okay.
We'll
Okay. I'd
see,
love to.
okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not that good on with the I have Amazon Kindle, but their templates are weird. So I find that when you use their templates, you're very restricted in covers and stuff like that. That you have to
Gotcha.
really use theirs. And I'm more of that creative person. I like to do my own.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. When we do our covers, we do our own too. So yeah.
Yeah. Because you
Yeah.
you want that's part of the book. You wanted to represent who you are,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
I think that's great. So I have a
Yeah.
friend who's an editor and I'm always picking her brain. How do I do this? What do I do with it? So so that's great. So
Gotcha.
I love that you here. If you could tell people in your audience one thing to inspire them, what would that be?
If I could tell them one thing to inspire them, I would say do it scared because that's what I had to do. It took me a while to get to the point where I was even talking to people doing these kind of, settings and podcasts because I'm an introvert. And don't let introversion hold you back. It could be your superpower, even though you might be shy, scared, introverted, just do it scared and, start right away and don't care about what anybody thinks. Just do your best to, get what you want to get done and, work on your dreams because you'll get there eventually. All you have to do is start and do it scared.
I think that's great. Well, I'm going to thank you for coming on and being my guest. You'll be a guest on another show, I'm sure. I've many that I think you'd be a great fit for. And thanks for what you're doing out there in the world. I think you are creating a big impact.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for watching and have a great night.